Siema, jesteśmy na Summer Dying Loud. Oglądacie What the Fuzz Podcast. Ze mną jest JB z Grand Magus. Ja jestem Zdan. Zaczynamy. Alrighty then. First things first. I think we are due for a new Grand Magus album because it's been 3 years between now and Wolf God. Where is it? Is it coming soon?
Well, you know, the whole pandemic thing kind of made everything became up in the air, you know. We were on tour. We were in the UK when we heard on the news that it's a pandemic. I'd never heard that word before.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought, well, fuck it, you know, we'll just get on with the tours. We did, I think, 4 shows while being pretty sick.
Oh, yeah?
And we did the last show in London, and the day before that we heard that in Dublin they had shut everything down. And we played in Dublin like 3 days before. So our agent said that you need to leave now. You need to stop the tour and you need to go home because otherwise you're going to get stuck here. So then when we came home, life changed completely for everyone, you know. And for me, I completely lost any idea of doing heavy metal music.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, we will try and start now.
Composing for the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because we weren't like some other bands that...
So because some bands during the pandemic, they did compose a lot.
I know, but that wasn't the case. I honestly thought that maybe it's over, you know. Maybe
like the career or the whole music industry is just going to go to hell.
The whole live thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it was close to being totally over.
Yeah, and now it's like nothing happened.
Well, a little bit. Some venues closed. Lots of venues, small venues closed after that. Okay, we touched upon the future, but let's go back to the past. In the olden days, Grand Magus was not known, well, at least in the circles that I went in, was not known in the very olden days as a heavy metal band, but as a doom stoner metal band. And then everybody was shocked when you went Wolf's Return, which was like, oh my dear Lord, these are those Manowar bits in there. So what made you, after two records, which were pretty much doom metal, I would say that traditional doom metal went into this heavy metal, still doom influence, but heavy metal direction on Wolf's Return.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And what happened was that we toured playing the songs from the first album and then playing the songs from the second album. We did a few tours with Orange Goblin and if I remember correctly. And we just felt that it was more fun to play a bit faster when we played live.
Oh, yeah.
So, and also when we started, we were extremely influenced by Black Sabbath, of course, and also by Cathedral and the kind of doom bands that came after Candlemass.
Oh, yeah.
And then we kind of realized that, yeah, sure, but we're also we love Judas Priest, and we love, you know, Merciful Fate, and we love Manowar, and we love Accept, and all of these bands.
You're from Sweden. Did Heavy Load influence you at all?
Well, of course they did. I mean, the albums, I had the albums, the artwork was perfect.
Yeah,
and
it still is.
Yeah, it still is. So I love Heavy Load, but I think we were more influenced by bands that had maybe a bit more melody. You know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so when we did the third album, we felt that we want to play faster and we want to play more, heavy metal, really.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So your description is exactly
because
right.
you and on Iron Will, you kind of completely ditched the doom. I would say that's a classic heavy metal record without the. Did you think about ditching the doom, or did it come naturally?
No, every album we've done has been completely the way that we feel at that time. So we've never had a plan, to make a certain kind of album or anything. It's just a reflection of where we were at that time.
At the time.
Yeah.
Well, skipping with Iron Will, I got to ask about this. Like the ore strikes the water. This is one of the most unusual titles I have seen in a heavy metal band, or in a metal band even. What does the title mean? What is the song all about? Well,
what do you think?
I genuinely don't know. I really wanted to ask you this, like even out of my own personal curiosity. I love it, but I was like the horse likes the water.
Yeah.
The only thing to me when I thought about the song was about progress by force, by action.
Yeah, that's very. Absolutely.
But what did you mean that?
Well, the thing is that lyrics are a bit like poetry. I don't mean to sound pretentious, but poetry is not necessarily the meaning of the words.
Yeah.
It's also something else, and it's also in the eye of the beholder. And sometimes when I write lyrics, I'm not entirely sure exactly what it means.
So there is no a concise meaning behind it.
No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
But I've said this before, but what is the concise meaning behind Metal Gods?
Yeah.
By Judas Priest.
Good question.
What is the concise meaning of Holy Diver? What is the concise meaning of Last in Line?
Well, Dio said Holy Diver is about this and this, but that's his take on it.
I think that it's more than that. I think it's a feeling.
I think so too.
It's emotions and it's words that have meaning when combined with the music. And because otherwise, I have never written a lyric before I've written music.
Oh, so music comes first?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, I think if you're a person who wants to tell people things, do this and this and this, I guess you can write a lot of lyrics and then you just do some music that kind of fits. And
fits the lyrics.
Yeah. But we've never been...
Not that way?
Never.
Okay. And now I will go into some very deep, nerdy stuff. Hammer of the North has a very rare and very hard to get bonus track called Crown of Iron. Which was featured on the Japanese. There's an outtake out of that, and the Japanese edition had that song. Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow, I don't even remember what that song sounds like.
Me neither, because it's nowhere on the internet, and you have to get it physically. You have to get the Japanese pressing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Of Hammer of the North.
That's cool. That's super cool. And Hammer.
The digital version now has it.
Okay, but you can't get the digital version.
Yeah. So you have to hunt down for the Japanese pressing.
Cool. Well, the title "Crown of Iron" is taken from Conan the Barbarian. Obviously, Robert E. Howard's stuff, because John Milius, who did Conan the Barbarian, the movie, he had written a script for a follow-up called Crown of Iron.
Crown Iron.
So that's where I got the title from. I don't remember the song though.
Oh God! So I really went deep into that one.
It's 12 years ago.
Oh yeah, it is. So you kind of answered my question. I will go, but I will today. When you said about when you like introduced Steel meets Steel, you said about Mornblade and Stormbringer, which is out of Elric and Michael Moorcock. So that I take it that classic fantasy, classic sword and sorcery does influence you a bit when writing.
Yeah.
And Moorcock specifically, I do love that guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the most unique writers.
Absolutely. I bought the Elric books when I was like 13 or 14. I love them. I read them many, many times because they're pretty, you know...
They are out there.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
They are out there.
But, and then I also played, there was a role-playing game called
yes, also in Sweden, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So me and my friends played that.
So a role player.
Yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
Man!
You know, I'm born 1971, so I was, 10, 11 when the whole role-playing game thing exploded.
I played role-playing games for 20 years plus, so I get you. I get you so much.
So absolutely, a lot of our lyrics have been inspired by books and movies, and maybe though I try not to be so explicit about it, So, but obviously, if you're familiar with Moorcock,
I am.
Then it's easy to spot it.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I think a lot of people, they have no clue.
Moorcock was not... Conan is a very obvious thing that people get because of the movies and the books and the games, but Elric and Corum and the Eternal Champion saga it's pretty obtuse in its writing, so it's not as easy to get.
No, and also I heard that Moorcock wrote about Elric as like an anti-Conan.
Oh yeah,
because he's weak.
He's weak and he's a sorcerer.
Exactly, and Conan hates magic.
Yeah, Conan hates magic, and he has to. And Conan is viral, and he lives only by the souls that Stormbringer brings him.
He's pure.
Yeah.
And Elric is on drugs.
Elric is a depraved prince of a depraved kingdom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Conan everything ends kind of positively, and in Elric, alas, poor Elric, I was 1,000 times more evil than thee.
Everything goes to shit.
Yeah, everything goes to shit. Everything was.
He kills everyone he loves.
Yes. Yeah. Everything was in shit, and then it goes with deeper shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And in Corum, the same thing.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Okay. So how important would you say, staying with the motifs, is the wolf to your band? It's I think it's key actually in imagery, in lyrics, in approach, in everything. Would that be right?
Absolutely. And there are a lot of bands that have been going on for a long time, but when we kind of picked up on the whole wolf theme, it wasn't that common, really. And also, we're from Sweden, and we have a problematic relationship with the wolf in Sweden. There's a lot of controversy, and because the wolf was extinct in Sweden for a long time, and then it came back, and there's a lot of bad blood, and I've always been fascinated by wolves and the idea of a werewolf, and of course the power of nature and everything. So the wolf became kind of like a spirit animal for us.
For the band.
Yeah, for the band, and also because we've never been a part of any kind of movement
or scene.
We've always been this weird band that, we started here, and then we kind of, so we're kind of a, well, what can I say? The wolf is important, but it's it's also now it's becoming a bit. There's so many bands now. There's so many bands.
Yeah.
And so, but our last album, Wolf God, is obviously, it's not a coincidence,
Oh yeah, so talking about many bands, what's your take on the whole new wave of traditional heavy metal that's really now viral and everything's popping up? We had Night Demon play before you guys, and there's Riot City, and there's tons of the band. There are more bands than you can count now. Classic heavy metal bands.
Well, I don't keep track. I'm but Night Demon, I'm a fan. When I heard them the first time, I was like, yeah. These
live,
guys,
they bring the thunder.
Yeah, and they have the songs, and it's just very good. But that's out of, I just happened to hear them, you know. So I don't really have any. There's another band called Eternal Champion.
Oh yes.
And the reason, of course, that I listened to them was because of the name.
The name. Okay.
Yes, I was like, hang on, I know what the Eternal Champion is. I need to hear this. And I was like, wow, this is fucking good,
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm all for it. If you write music that's, catchy.
Good classic metal.
Yeah, with good riffs. I mean, that's what I love. That's what I grew up on. So if you can do it, it's just that there's a bit of this bands that say we're true metal. Hang on. That's not for you to decide.
Yup.
That someone else has to say they're true metal.
There's only one band who earned to say this. That's Manowar.
Yeah.
Because they've been saying it for so damn long.
And they've proven it too. Yeah. So, but I think there's a lot of great bands, and I love to see the kind of album artwork that those guys put, like Night Demon and also Eternal Champion. I love that stuff. It brings me back to when I was 14, 15, So, great stuff.
Do you ever get the urge, because I know you like lots of two guitar harmony stuff like Lizzy and Maiden. Do you ever get the urge
to get a second
guitar player? Because some of the songs really do ask, could I think so.
Yeah.
Could use a harmony or a dueling guitar solo or.
Absolutely. It's just that it's never going to happen because we're a three-piece, and I know that we have stuff on the albums that we can't reproduce live. But hey, that's just the way it is. So did Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
So
very true.
And when the many times I saw Black Sabbath and Heaven and Hell, I wasn't complaining about the lack of a second guitar player,
Okay, now a personal thing. Do you ever get bored when they compare you to David Coverdale? Because they do.
Really?
And to Dio sometimes.
Well, I'd love to be compared to David Coverdale and Dio any day, how can you not be? Two of the greatest singers of all time, best voices of all time, so.
But did you model yourself on Coverdale or Dio or somebody else? Do you have a model for vocals? People do praise your vocals when it comes to Grand Magus. Some people do have this approach that they got into Grand Magus, for example, through Spiritual Beggars, because of the vocals. The vocals was what drove them in.
I mean, I idolize Dio, and I idolize David Coverdale, and I idolize, Paul Rodgers.
Free.
Yeah, and there's so many great singers, but in the end, you can only sound like yourself.
You should.
Yeah, well, I wish that I could do stuff that other people can do. But on the other hand, this is my voice, and I think the voice is more important than anything.
But you did go for Stonebringer.
Yeah, but
that's a bonus track.
Yeah, Stormbringer was the first hard rock song I ever heard.
Oh yeah.
I was 5 years old.
I understand.
So it's got a very special place in my heart,
Yeah, so let's play. If you had to cover, say, 3 songs with Grand Magus, like type 3 songs that you would go for an EP, for example?
I don't want to do any more covers.
I know, but just
well,
as a hypothesis.
The 2 covers we've ever done is that we played a Swiss festival many years ago when they asked us to play a cover, so we did a cover of War Pigs.
Oh yeah.
So I could imagine doing that again, because I think we did it justice, and I love that song. I love the way the vocals are constructed with the guitar and the drums and the bass and everything. So that's one, and of course, Stormbringer. We could do another version. Cool thing today was that Per Wiberg from Beggars is here with Tiamat today.
Oh yeah.
And he played the keyboards on our cover version.
Yeah.
And a third song. It would be fun to do a Manowar song. Maybe.
Blood of My Enemies.
Maybe Gloves of Metal.
Oh yeah.
Solstice did a cover.
Yeah,
of
I know.
Metal,
I absolutely love Solstice. So.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Slow Fag. There's a band called Slow Fag that did Gloves of Metal too.
Yeah, okay. I haven't heard that.
You could do Battle Days or Battle Hymn.
Yeah,
that would be Battle Hymn that's a classic.
Yeah,
absolute classic. Yeah. How did you feel when you could sing with the Mighty Candlemass? Well of Souls.
Yeah. Oh, you know your stuff. That was fun. It was such a great evening because there were so many, fantastic singers and musicians there, and we'd done like 2 rehearsals, I think, for Well of Souls, but standing on stage with Candlemass. Whew,
oh yeah,
it was fucking heavy, man. My pants were like flying.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so that was really, really cool, and they're such a great band,
They are. So I will put you on the spot, Johan or Marcolin, and why?
No, I can't. I can't do that. When we're all like 90. I can give you an answer.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. Would you say, because that's my observation, that Grand Magus, with progressively, I don't mean that in the sense of mellowing out, but did add with every album a bigger dose and emphasis on melody. In each subsequent album, because the first 2 ones, like Wolf's Return and Iron Will and Hammer of the North, lots of faster songs, and then with The Hunt and with Triumphant Power, the melody was emphasized on those, and turning out with Wolfgod when the melody is really, really up front there.
Okay. Maybe you're right. I haven't really thought about it, but I think that most of the stuff that I really like has a lot of melody in it, when it comes to metal. Like Manowar, for instance. I mean, Manowar are and have always been super melodic, but they're also super tough, yeah. Same thing with Judas Priest.
Very true.
Same thing with Accept.
Very true.
So that's kind of where I come from, and also obviously the more blues-based hard rock like Whitesnake and Deep Purple and Rainbow and all of that stuff. So the melody is very important. I think the stuff that I really, really go bananas for is almost always melodic stuff, Oh
yeah. So you were not a fan of what Sweden metal is most known for, so Swedish death metal.
Hey, I love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But that's what it is, Entombed, Dismember, Unleashed.
Plus, the Swedish melodic metal, death metal, always had emphasis on Dismember is Iron Maiden on gross big ball steroids.
Yeah, and Unleashed are super catchy.
Oh yeah, Before the Creation of Time is a speed metal song.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. So no, I love that. I love a lot of black metal stuff too, and there's a little bit of black metal influence on Wolf's Return.
A little bit.
Yeah, but it's just like a condiment. But that's a different thing. So for me, heavy metal is heavy metal, black metal is black metal, and death metal is death metal. Yeah. So I can enjoy that. I mean, say it in Slugs with Entombed.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Fantastic.
It's not melodic, but fuck me, that song gets me every time.
Yes, I'm very. I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
And just to touch on what you said at the show, what's your take on this whole life metal bullshit?
No, it's
Dayside stuff and the Gorfest stuff and Therion when they were.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that because the Tiamat guys are here, and obviously they started
as Treblinka actually.
Yeah. But back in the day, and there was this whole war going on between Sweden and Norway and everything. So it was more like I wasn't. I know nothing about that apart from what I've heard afterwards, but it's yeah.
So to me, that was an amazing interview, amazing chat. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
And your last words to our listeners, our viewers at the What the Fast Podcast Poland. The floor is yours.
Hello, people. It was great to be back in Poland. We've always had a great time here, and hope to see you again soon. And now I'm going to get out of my sweaty clothes. See ya.
See ya.